to report the smoke is quite overwhelming here, and the firefighters are still on scene of this fire here at the moment. And we understand that being here for a couple of hours now, you must know that Vosloorus has been one of the problematic areas where there has been sporadic incidents of violence. I also understand from the Eastrand Metro Police Department that the body of one person was also found here in the early hours of this morning. Those are the indications that we're having at this particular point. But from what you have seen just now, firefighters are still on scene here at the moment. But to my surprise, have a look there. You will see some of the residents in this area who are still inside the mall, despite the fact that there's quite a lot of smoke in here, unperturbed, and basically trying to salvage or loot whatever it is. I think salvage would be the wrong word, because they're helping themselves to whatever it is that they can find here at the moment. So quite a number of people woken up quite early in the morning. There you have, carrying plastics, carrying bags with whatever it is that they can find. Some of them covering their faces, don't want to be seen. Quite obviously, we'll go towards this direction again, and you can see from here the smoke still coming through from the Jet stores, where I believe the fire itself had started, and it is now spreading to other parts, a bit of the smoke, but it's not deterred many of these people who are here, who are still continuing to take whatever they want. The looting essentially continuing. I've not yet managed to spot, Sakina, as well as Leanne, whether there's a presence of the South African National Defence Force here at the moment. But I'll try and move towards other areas as well, and just have a sense of the extent of the damage in terms of the fire itself. But this mall, completely destroyed. One has to really try and manage whether they can move to certain parts. I'll show you just in a few moments where parts of the roof have collapsed, and it's very dangerous to move towards those particular directions, because it really doesn't make any sense how the roof managed to almost collapse, yet it's in some of the areas where it had not been affected by the fire. I will show you in just a moment. My colleague Skutembe is coming towards this direction. So the extent of the looting and the damage, it's not just basic of breaking of windows and looting what is inside those stores. But I will show you in just a moment, my colleague Skutembe, the roof over there, which is basically collapsed. How that has happened, whether there had been individuals on the roof, one certainly cannot say at this particular point. But that is the extent of the damage, which is obviously going to run into millions. There is no way that this mall is going to open in the next month. If you look at the extent of the damage, I'm not one to do, officially some, assessment on the extent of damage, but just with the naked eye, you can tell that because of the extent of the damage, this is going to take a very long time for them to try and put this together. We'll just take you now to another side where the firefighters are. A very slippery situation here. We've got to try and be careful. Leanne, did you want to ask a question?
Christelda, no, I mean, we're just watching on, and I mean, one doesn't know how you actually go about building this back up, and it's quite amazing to see that you've actually still got people out looting this morning. It's just, even though there's nothing left, but they're having a little peep through to see if in fact maybe there is something there. So, as you say, no police presence. Firefighters, are there at least some form of emergency personnel on the scene?
Yes, that's right, Leanne. There are emergency personnel on the scene, and they're still trying to contain this place, trying to make sure that it doesn't flare up. The fire engines are also still on scene. I'm just trying to maneuver where we are now to try and show you those visuals, because they're just parked right outside. So we're trying to figure out which entrance has been left open so that we can move out of this particular direction, but you can still see. I mean, look at some of those bins. Anything to put items in. That's what's taking place here at the moment. And firefighters, I did not see police at all, Leanne. When we drove in here and quickly connected our machines to ensure that we bring you this live coverage. Have a look again. We're going to go past the Jet stores, which has been significantly impacted by this. That's where the smoke is coming from. And we're just trying to move. One has to be really careful here, Leanne, not to slip and get hurt, because there's just water everywhere. It is a complete mess. There is no way that they're going to be able to salvage or try and get this mall up and running anytime soon. This is one of the malls, of course, that services the Vosloorus area. You have a look, ATMs. Remember yesterday in Soweto when we crossed live on the program, ATMs not spared, keypads taken from the ATMs. We'll ask you, what are you going to do with some of the items that have been taken? So absolute lawlessness that has taken place, despite calls for, a calm. The looting continues. I'm hearing some sirens outside. Just going to try and get out there. The visuals we showed you earlier, of course, you saw those firefighters trying to douse what remains of the fire. And you see, people just not afraid. As they come in, firefighters continue with their work. And I'm just going to check what those sirens are. Oh, that seems to be one of the shops, of course. The alarm system's going off at all of these shops where, of course, there's been a fire or the looting itself continues. Here's the fire truck here. Very difficult for us, Leanne. Have a look, just some of whatever that you can find. The tin fish, shoes, anything that is here. Even though it's in a bit of mud, and nobody really cares. They'll get home and, I guess, wash it off. This is one of the fire trucks that is here. We'll show you the smoke a bit from outside where we are. 1, 2 fire trucks here at the moment. Let me see. I think there's someone inside there. I don't think that they're authorized to speak to us at this stage. All right. 1, 2. There's a third fire truck, Leanne, which is on the other side. Let me just have a word and see. Sanibonani? Sanibonani?